Now, if you didn't know, the BMW is by far one of the most exciting vehicles to hit the market, but it's also one of the hardest ones to get. Now, I think I just set the record. The Guinness books are going to be calling me any minute now for the lowest priced X7 in the United States of America. Let me tell you how I did it. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Tommy. I don't let this young face fool you. I've been in the car industry for about a billion years, and I help people all across the country trying to find the car of their dreams, saving them a lot of money, but on the top of it, most importantly, never having to step foot in a dealership. Enough about me, let me continue the story. Now, I've been working with this client here that has been debating on a few cars, but we finally set our foot on the X7. Now, they're looking for a third row passenger vehicle, and the X7 is just the perfect vehicle in its class. It is one of the most comfortable, one of the most reliable. The technology on it and the safety is just outrageous. And once you sit in an X7, it's really hard to compare it to anything else. So we've been looking for an X7, and if you don't know anything about the X7, it is one of the hardest cars to get right now. Because of all the reasons I just mentioned, everybody's looking for them. So there's really no dealership that has them just sitting on their lots. You have to order them, and they can take anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 months, especially at this time of year where the model year is changing. So the 2024s are going to come out soon, which makes it even harder to find this car. So we've been debating between buying a new one. We're considering paying an inflated price on a used one. Very lightly used, 15, 20,000 miles max. So one of the parts of my job here, and one of the things that I do for my clients, is that I'm consistently trying to find a great deal for them anywhere across the country. So what I did is I went into Auto Tempest, they're not sponsored, and I scrounged the internet trying to find an X7. I do this multiple times throughout the day, probably once every hour. And about 15 minutes ago, there was a posting on an X7 in some little city in the middle of Indianapolis. Not Indianapolis, Indiana, sorry. Now, I never even heard of this town, but I call this dealership up immediately, and they already have offers on this car. This is one of the lowest listings of an X7 I have seen in a while. And when I call a dealership, due to my years of experience, I don't play all the games. I know the questions to ask, the things to say, to just get the answers that I need to get in a quick and efficient manner. So I talked to the general sales manager, and we talk about how this car just isn't his market. It's a $70,000 SUV. They're a Dodge Jeep store in the middle of the country that really just is buying trucks. He's trying to wholesale it, which just means sell it to a different dealership, and he's just trying to get it off his lot. So I talked to the dealership, and I convinced them, the general sales manager, to sell the car to me and my client. Now, there's a lot of benefits for the dealership for being able to do this at this wholesale pricing. A, it's getting them the sale either way. They're getting rid of the car. B, a salesperson is now getting paid commission. On a wholesale deal, nobody gets paid commission. The dealership makes a little bit of money, but this is going to help the salesperson, which is going to be beneficial for them retaining their salespeople. But it's also important to my client because they're going to get a heck of a deal on a car. It's basically impossible to get. Now, part of my due diligence is I always do an extensive search on all the cars that any of my clients buy. And even though this car was a 2022 with relatively low miles, 18,000 miles, I did my VIN search. And something that intrigued me, that gave me a moment, a Sherlock Holmes moment, let me tell you about it. There was a thing called a paint correction done about 1,000 miles into the car's ownership. Now, some people would be like, oh, probably just a paint repair, nothing big deal. But that rarely happens at a car this early. And sometimes it means that it could be a ceramic paint coat. If you don't know about ceramic paint coat, let me tell you this. This is by far the best paint correction there is on the market. Now, not only this, but it's basically like putting diamonds all over your car. It's like a wax for the lifetime of the car. This can run upwards of $6,000, and it's done in a lot of luxury cars when you buy them to maintain the value. Now, I started doing some research, start finding the ceramic dealerships around the area that the car was bought in, and I found the receipts of this exact VIN being done at this exact spot. And now I can guarantee that $6,000 of work was done on this car, which now has a warranty with it that my customer will now enjoy. Dealership that sold me the car had no idea any of this happened. So now we're getting a great deal on this car. This car is being shipped directly to my customer's house about 500 miles away. And they had to do nothing but sit at their home and be great. And we were able to get the lowest X7. I'm still waiting for the Guinness Book of World Records to call me and let me know that I'm in the record book. But hey, if you're ever looking for somebody to help you buy the car experience, if you value your time, please don't be afraid to reach out to me. My socials are down below, or you can reach out to me at deliveredtome.com, and I'm certainly willing to help you on your next journey.